Hey guys, it is Filmington. This is going to be a different type of video. As you can see, we have a basketball card in front of us. A LeBron James 0304 Topps Chrome rookie. This is the only basketball card I've picked up in the last 20 years. If you've followed me, you know I don't really collect much outside of baseball, so this is that 1% or 0.1%. I figured, you know what, I'll pick up a card of the Millennials GOAT. It seemed like the cards had some room to grow appreciation-wise, and I was right. Now, unfortunately, I was wrong with the grade. I should have purchased a PSA 10. I picked this up for about $630 last September, and at the time, PSA 10s were going for about $1,200. Since then, PSA 10s have almost doubled. There have been examples in the $2,200 to $2,400 range over the last few weeks. Nines haven't moved that much. So in a lot of cases, PSA 10s are the way to go investment-wise. Now, my main motivation behind buying this example was the subgrades. So you can scour the internets and the message boards within them for long enough, for a little bit amount of time to realize that a lot of what people try to do or are trying to do these days is crack cards out of slabs with imperfect grades like 9s, 8.5s, even a Beckett 9.5 you could do this with, that have good subgrades throughout minus the surface. So the idea is that maybe the submitter did not wipe off the surface. Maybe there's some debris on it which affected the grade. Maybe there could be some light surface scratch that could be buffed out in some manner. So I'm not going to lie, that was part of my reason behind buying this card and paying a little bit extra for that BGS 9 at the time on the higher range. $638 what I paid for it shipped. Now, when I purchased the card, I realized that the surface defect isn't on the front. And I didn't actually realize this till a customer pointed this out to me when I was selling it in a display case in Cranston. I think it was this past February. That the surface defect, it's hard to see. You gotta like angle it just right, but it's on the red where it meets the white back here. So it's on the paper. So a lot of the surface cleaning that people talk about is really on the front for chrome surfaced cards where there were no scratches, no debris that I can see. Now, that's another issue, is that you can't really see the card entirely unless it's out of the slab. So this kind of changed my approach. So I'm like, oh, okay, so I guess that can't be changed. And then I'm thinking, scouring the internets again, and there is a largely believed assumption or even misconception that PSA is not as strict on the backs of the cards. And if you compare PSA with Beckett, a lot of people, and this is probably true, believe that PSA is more strict on the corners, less strict on the front centering, and also less strict on the back entirely. But with the back, it's really just the back centering, and that'll come up in their descriptions of what it takes to get a PSA 10. As you can tell or see here, the qualifications, the minimum qualifications for getting a PSA 10 on back centering are very, very lenient. Probably more lenient than what Beckett would say. But there is no mention of surface defects on the back. And if you, again, look at their descriptions of what it takes to be a PSA 10 versus a PSA 9, this surface defect, despite it being on the back instead of the front, it's not really going to matter, and it shouldn't get a Gem 10 if the grader sees this. So that really gives me two options, because I'm not going to try to cross this over to PSA with the current subgrades, because they're going to see an 8.5 and it might not even cross to a 9. If it crosses to a 9, you know what, maybe the card's worth about $850 today. But then there's the risk that it doesn't cross at all. I lose my grading fee if I put down minimum quals. Really, the options that I had coming to this video today were either trying to crack it out of the slab, sending it to PSA with a minimum grade of a 9, maybe getting a 9, maybe not getting a 9. There's a slight off chance of getting a 10, really if the grader missed this. So I was thinking it would make a cool video if I was like taking this out and like I already got the tool to do it and I've already done it before and figured maybe I'd get more views and people would be more interested if I was to label or title the video like how to make $1,500 in 10 minutes. But the fact of the matter is that was a risk I wasn't willing to take, especially given that I was able to sell this within 24 hours of listing it at $963. So somebody is buying this with the same intention I had to crack this out, clean the surface. I'm guessing they've done this before or they've heard about the idea. And to be fair to this person, to all people that could have purchased this card, I had it listed at $1,200 or best offer, by the way. I gave people a 2-week return policy. So if he sees the defect on the back, that'll be his call to make. Okay, maybe this isn't worth the risk. Maybe I'll just return it. And maybe that's what he's banking on. That's okay. I understand that. So if I am to sell it for $963 or $965, then it still is a return of 31% after fees in about 1 year. So I'll take that. You know what? I'll definitely take that. It's the conservative way to go, but I mean, it's about $200, 30%. I mean, who can really sneeze at that? Now, of course, I'll have to reassess things if this does get returned to me, and if I can't sell it at a comparable price, maybe I end up snapping this out and submitting it to PSA, and with that, probably, I don't know, I'd say there'd probably be like a 70% likelihood I'd get a 9, maybe a 10 to 15% chance of something lower than that, and a 5 to 10% chance of a 10. That's if they miss this, you know, taking advantage of their sloppiness as of late. But I think they would give this card a lot of attention, especially given the prices of PSA 10s and how they've moved. So that's something I haven't even addressed yet. If I was to have snapped this out, I should have done it a year ago. I don't know. That's kind of conjecture anyways. The thought that maybe PSA would be more harsh on certain cards given that the price and escalates of certain conditions. But all right, so that is it for today. I am going to be mailing this out to the individual that purchased it, and hopefully this will be the end of me owning this card. If not, maybe we'll have to have a part 2. All right, thank you for watching, and take care. Philmington out.